You're welcome. Does anyone else have any questions for Ms. Finn? Seeing none, Linda, thank you for your testimony. May we have the next witness, please?
Hello, my name is... Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Jake McGuigan. I'm Managing Director of State Affairs for the National Shooting Sports Foundation. We are based in Newtown, Connecticut. We are the trade association for the firearms industry.
Jake,
obviously, I don't have much time. Yes, sir.
Before you get going, I just want to say you have a minute 15. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I just wanted to talk real quickly. Obviously, we are opposed to many of the anti-gun bills, including 5553, 5554, 5556, and then the age limit 5970. Just real quick, in the past year, we have seen a huge economic increase in the firearms industry. Rhode Island alone has seen $179 million of economic activity in Rhode Island, and our industry employs 600 people in the state. Also, to the tune of $5 million in state taxes. All these bills will have a tremendous negative economic impact, with companies leaving the state and moving to more gun-friendly states. And lastly, before I get cut off, I want everyone to think about the changing demographics of the firearms industry. In the past year, we've seen a 60% increase in African-American purchases of firearms, as well as first-time gun buyers being 40% female. So again, huge economic impact for the state of Rhode Island, and the changing demographic that we are seeing is very, very encouraging, to say the least. So thank you very much for your time this evening, and I will take any questions if possible.
I was going to say, before you go, Repigello.
Thank you, Vice Chair Knight. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name, sir.
Jake is fine.
Jake. Hi, Jake.
How you doing?
Edie Agello here.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm puzzled at the citing of $179 million of guns sold in 2020. And this legislation, first of all, is not going to outlaw the sale of all guns. So guns would not stop being sold in Rhode Island if all of the gun control bills passed. But beyond that, guns aren't like groceries. They're not consumables that one buys in 2020 and needs to replace in 2021 or even 2022. So to expect that those people who bought guns in 2020 will buy another gun in 2021, it is in many cases probably not a realistic expectation. Maybe we're not going to have the same degree of people concerned for their safety or wanting this hobby.
Representative Joe, thank you for that question. And just to point out what I was saying, obviously I only had a minute and 15, so I got to get through it fast. But what that $179 million number is the economic activity that our retailers, ranges, and manufacturers contribute to Rhode Island. What I mean by that is obviously they have employees. Those employees pay property taxes, they pay state taxes, they live in the areas, they frequent the diner next door, they frequent the gas station. So that's what that is necessarily, the economic impact. And what I would say to that is we have seen in many states, Maryland being one of them, where the manufacturers, when they continue to become attacked by these bills, they end up moving. Beretta, which is a long-standing firearms manufacturer, moved from Beretta and moved from Maryland and went to Tennessee. If you look across Rhode Island, there are many, many accessory manufacturers. There's a couple down at Quonset Point that are members of ours that make military lights for weapons, for helmets, and various other things. We have, you probably wouldn't believe this, but Swarovski Crystal. They make scopes for firearms, and they're right there, right in the middle of the state. There are a lot of other smaller manufacturers that support Smith & Wesson, which is up in Massachusetts. So the concern lies with not necessarily, people not buying those guns, but manufacturers finally saying, okay, the business environment in Rhode Island, which sometimes is ranked 45th, 46th, depending on the rankings you look at, this could be the final straw that they then decide to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to run up the street to New Hampshire. I'm going to go down to Pennsylvania. And we've seen that a lot more recently. So it's more of the political environment that would make you lose those jobs and lose that economic impact. So that's what that's in reference to, Representative.
All set. Jake, there's another representative who has a question for you. Representative Corvae.
Thank you, Second Chair Knight. Jake, the question I wanted to ask, I know I've read somewhere where over the last, and I don't know the period of time, that women have, there's either been an increase in the number or the increase in the percentage of women who have purchased guns nationally. I'm curious, would you happen to have any statistics with regard to what the percentage is of women in the state of Rhode Island, new gun owners who are women? Do you have any statistics on that?
Yes, I can. What I can do is I can provide that to the committee. I don't have them offhand, but what I'll tell you offhand is Rhode Island saw one of the top 3 increases in background checks in the entire country. And
in Rhode Island?
Yes, Rhode Island specifically, background checks. And we use background checks as a barometer for gun sales because
the population must feel that it's a necessity of sort.
Well, Representative Corvae, what we've seen over the past year is obviously unprecedented, right? We've had a pandemic, we've had riots, we've had calls for defunding the police, we had a presidential election, and we had people on both sides of the aisle concerned for their safety. We had people in cities and in urban areas that said, well, wait a second, everyone's telling them to defund the police, who's going to come and protect me and my family if I place a call and the police don't come? So that's what we've seen, and I mentioned that earlier, is that we've seen over 60% increase in African American purchases of firearms. And we believe up through August, there were 5 million new gun owners in this country. And this is the stuff that is making, I would say, those who are anti-gun nervous, because it's a changing demographic. It's not the old white man that's going out and buying guns. It's people that saw the storming of the Capitol, that were fearful of those people coming and doing something similar to their homes or into their cities and towns. That's what we're seeing. And when they're seeing a change in that demographic, it's not an old white man industry anymore. We are seeing, and I didn't say this, but we believe close to 8 million new gun owners. And of those first-time gun buyers, we have statistics from retailers that saying 40% are females.
So I appreciate the time you've taken. There are other people who want to speak. The only thing I would ask is if you're going to send us information, send us with regard to a demographic breakdown in various categories for Rhode Island background checks and or purchases, if you can send that to the committee. I think that would be very helpful.
Yes, sir. I will do that. It'll be a little bit back of the envelope based upon the percentages and the surveys we do, but I can get you to a pretty close number, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
I want to take this moment real quick to discuss the issue of out-of-state callers. Just so everyone knows, there's been some confusion about where we were going to put them. The desire is to prioritize Rhode Island residents and citizens, and we've had some difficulty filtering the list. So we've had some out-of-state testimony. I think at this point it was we've had a couple of out-of-staters, and so what I'm asking the clerks to do is, if they're an out-of-state caller, put them towards the end of the list. I am making one exception for a proponent of the bills, given the extended conversation that we just had. and that's it, unless there's strong objection.
I won't, with all due respect, I won't object. I wouldn't want an extended testimony unless there were questions.
Nope.
His testimony was extended because of my questioning, number one. Number two, I think we already had, again, I think we've already had a pretty good 50-50 of those few individuals who've testified out of state who were both proponents and opponents.
All right. Well, with that in mind, then I'll just, we'll say from now on, we're going to prioritize Rhode Island residents
Absolutely.
as best we can on the list. The clerks are listening, hopefully.
Are the clerks listening?
Any out of state towards the end of the list, please. And that overrides what you and I were just talking about before. All right, but I just wanted to get the committee's feel for that.
Thank you, Mr. Second Vice Chairman.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Representative Agello.
Will the clerks be asking the callers where they're calling from?
We have a variety of methods based on the data that was submitted when the speaking request came in to determine if someone is out of state.
Okay.
So that's what we're using.
Can't really go by area code.
Can't go by area code, but there's a couple other things that we can go by. All right.
All right,
Can we
thank you.
continue with the testimony and have the next witness, please?
Hello.
Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. Please state your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
My name is John Kennecom. I live in North Kingstown, Rhode Island. I am opposed to these anti-gun bills 5381, 5386, 5553, 5554, 5555, 5556, H5726, 5942, 5969, 5970, 6082. I support these pro-gun bills 5395, 5557, 5558, 5639, 5727, 5730, 5882, 5971, 5972, 5973. Sirs, with all due respect, these are a violation of our Second Amendment rights. An infringement is an infringement. Anything, any type of rule, activity, or regulation on the right to bear arms is an infringement. Any type of it. And furthermore, we are entitled to equal protection under the law.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Does anyone on the committee have any questions? There are no questions. Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and you have a minute, 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Thank you so much. My name is Hilary Levy Friedman. I live in Providence, and I'm representing the Rhode Island Chapter of the National Organization for Women. Gun violence prevention is a feminist issue. More often than not, when a civilian shooter aims to take a life, the impetus for that action is misogyny, plain and simple. Others have and will share the sobering and terrifying statistics about domestic violence victims and how much more likely a woman is to be shot by an intimate partner. But what about the women who do not know their shooters? What about Congresswoman Gabby Gifford, who joined us in Rhode Island last year to support the passage of many of the bills before you? She was targeted because her assailant did not believe women should be in positions of power. And of course, the traumatic murder this week of 6 Asian women targeted not just for their occupations, not just for their race, but also their gender. Their murderer was motivated by hate and racism and misogyny. To say gun violence prevention is a feminist issue, then, not only acknowledges how often women are victims of gun violence, but reminds us that easy access to highly dangerous weapons leads to deadly discrimination against many groups, and especially individuals with intersecting identities. Now, for specific bill numbers that we support and oppose, In this hearing, please see our written testimony, but in conclusion, the Rhode Island chapter of the National Organization for Women asks you to allow these important bills to come to a vote to keep all Rhode Islanders safe.
Thank you, Hilary, for your testimony, and I'm going to ask this committee if anyone has any questions. Representative Corvae.
Hilary, this is Representative Corvae. How are you this evening?
Good. How are you?
Good. I just want to ask one quick question and make it very clear. Maybe I misunderstood you. Are you saying that the majority of victims of gun violence are women?
Certainly domestic violence cases.
No. Okay, so you said domestic violence.
Correct.
Okay, my apologies. I thought you said all violence. Thank you.
No,
all
just
gun violence.
specifically domestic violence.
Thank you very much.
Hang on, Hilary. Representative Caldwell.
Hi, Hilary. Thank you so much for testifying tonight.
Thank you for doing this work.
I wanted to thank you so much for bringing up how much of the violence and the gun violence we've seen recently in society is deeply rooted in racism and misogyny. I did not get to talk about that as much as my introduction in the bills as I would have liked to, if at all, and that is such an important point, that gun violence is a women's issue, and I appreciate your group and yourself bringing that up tonight, so thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions for Ms. Levy Friedman? All right, seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony, please.
My name is Amy DeGregory from Carpentry. I oppose 5381. This is basically extortion. You're threatening my right to purchase a gun by making me sign over my HIPAA rights. I oppose 5553. This limits my level and access to safety in my own house. You should be focusing on the criminal, not the homeowner. And what is the end game if this bill passes? Random house-to-house checks? And by whom? That's not going to end well. I oppose 5554. Almost all magazines have a removable bottom plate. This is how you disassemble them in order to clean them and grease them. This bill would also eliminate a large amount of pistols as they have a standard mag capacity larger than 10 rounds. I oppose 5556. We've been told many times, including tonight, we're not taking your guns. This bill would eliminate 98% of them. So either you're lying or you got some research to do on threaded barrels. And the last thing, I want to know where I can get a machine pistol, because I need that for my safe.
Does anyone have any questions for Ms. DeGregory? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Okay. Hi, my name is Dean Swanson. I live in North Kingstown, Rhode Island, have all my life. I oppose half of these bills. I'm not going to go through them all because I don't have the time, but I will say this, that these gun laws are designed to keep people more safe. Well, these bills impact me, who I am a law-abiding, tax-paying citizen of this state and of this country. And these bills will not stop people who are intent on doing harm or wrong. They don't care about responsibility, and they do not have respect for other people or other things. So these bills, again, are going to impact me and not the people who may do evil things. And I guess that's all I have to say.
Thank you for your testimony. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your input. Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee meeting. Please tell us your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
I will try to be efficient. My name is Gregory Waxmolsky. I'm in Pawtucket, and my House representative is John Philippe Barros. I'm testifying tonight against the proposal of House Bill 5395 to have armed officers on campus. Specifically, the definition in 4228.6.1 that includes campus police officers to be covered under the Law Enforcement Bill of Rights. I'll leave it to you to dial up all of the articles in the news over the last couple of years and why this probably isn't a great idea. Whether or not police officers on campus are trained, whether or not they are considered to be fully fledged police officers in a municipality is one thing, but giving them guns and arming them with unaccountability, as Leobor has been shown to do, is just wrong. Everybody in my neighborhood agrees, and I'm telling you tonight, please hold this, consider it, figure it out, and make it safe for everybody. Thank you so much for all your time and your commitment to safety and law in the state of Rhode Island.
Thank you for your testimony. Next witness, please. Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony. Hello?
Hi, my name is... Yes?
There we go. Go ahead.
My name is Nicholas DeLuca. I am from Providence, Rhode Island, and I voted the way I voted because I believe that the current legislation goes against the Constitution, and any further would also hinder it. I swore an oath as a United States Marine, and my oath was to uphold the Constitution of the United States, and that is why I voted against the current bans on firearms. Thank
Okay,
you.
does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Hello, members of the House Judiciary Committee. My name is Andrew Kowalski, and I'm from West Warwick. I'm offering my voice in opposition of all gun restriction bills coming across the committee. As a former member of the Rhode Island National Guard and born Rhode Islander, I'm heartbroken to see these bills being put forward. All these bills offer nothing more than restricting and criminalizing law-abiding citizens like myself. Firearms cannot be classified as assault weapons just because of attachments or ammunition it can hold. Semi-automatic weapon is a three-word description of almost every firearm produced. These are not weapons of war. These are firearms are only capable of firing one round per one trigger pull. These firearms are used for hunting, sporting, home defense, and importantly, country defense. As our forefathers had planned, the opportunity for every American home to have means of firearm defense. This is the core of keeping our foreign enemies at bay. It is a core American right. Personally, I'm 100% behind keeping firearms away from individuals who have been convicted of violent crimes, but regrettably, none of these bills offer any remedy to that problem. Criminals buying black market firearms are the problem, not Rhode Islanders that are walking into a gun store, filing out paperwork, and waiting a 7-day-plus waiting period. To also touch on the subject of medical records being dissected to allow an individual to purchase a firearm leaves a lot of room for error in interpretation. The ability for a reviewer to take it upon themselves to deny whomever they feel is a scary thought.
Thank you for your testimony. We certainly appreciate it. Seeing no questions, we'll take the next witness, please. Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee, and please give us your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Sure, my name is David Lyon. I'm from Foster, Rhode Island. I'm opposing H5381, 5386, 5554, 5555, 5556, 57226, 5942, 5969, and 5970. The magazine ban, as a lot of people said, will result in banning almost every rifle, including quite a few of my bolt actions, because they have bottom plates that are removable, even though they're 5-round magazines. And only burden legal gun owners, because criminals don't care. H5556 will ban guns simply on their appearance, which literally makes no sense. Ironically, one of the people who testified for this bill pointed to the round, which isn't one of the factors that determines if this, what an assault rifle is. All the factors that do are pretty much cosmetic, so it really doesn't make any sense. I am, however, and if you're for gun safety, you should be as well, for H5557, 5727, and 5882. If you're against gun violence, giving people a non-lethal method for defending themselves just makes sense to me, as well as holding the Attorney General liable for any cases of gun violence that they plea out or don't choose to prosecute.
Thank you for your testimony. We certainly appreciate it. Seeing no questions, may we have the next witness? Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee meeting. If you could do us a favor and turn down the volume on your device.
Yep.
And then give us your name and town, and then you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
My name is Christine Bandoni, and I live in Tiverton, Rhode Island. Thank you, Chair Craven and members of the Judiciary Committee. I'd like to specifically express my support for Bill H5970, raise the age to 21 to purchase firearms, which includes AR-15 military-style weapons. This bill has a provision for a background check to purchase ammunition as well. Purchasing and possessing a lethal weapon is a serious responsibility and one that should not be taken lightly, because young adults are at elevated risk of attempting suicide and engaging in violent behaviors. Strengthening minimum age laws for purchasing and possessing guns will help protect young people and the public at large. Many studies have shown that the human brain continues to develop well past the age of 21, particularly in areas that may alter a person's likelihood of involvement in violence against themselves or others. Please consider passing this bill out of committee for a vote on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for the witness? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. I'll note for the record on that previous witness, he indicated that he had a bolt-action rifle that he thought would become illegal should this assault weapons ban pass, and it would not, given that it's bolt-action. The magazine might be a different story. But for the record, I thought it made sense to clarify that. Can we have the next witness, please? Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give your testimony, but can you start with your name and town so we know who you are?
Yes, sir. My name is Michael Reed. I live in Pawtucket.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'd like to voice my support for several bills, 5558, 5639, and 5730. I support Reciprocity. I think it would be great. For me personally, it would work well as I travel to Mass often to visit friends and family, and if they would, that state would have Reciprocity with my carry permit, I would really like that. I'd like to say I believe I support 5557. I believe stun guns should be available to carry for protection by citizens. I would like to support 5972. Other states have passed similar legislation. There's been almost no negative consequences to it. I support the bill. That's constitutional carry. I support 5973. The evacuation bill. I would say that people will probably do this anyway, so why tie up the legal system later on after the state's trying to recover from a disaster if somebody were to be prosecuted. I support 5727 and 5882 and 5971. Is that my timer?
That's your timer. Thank you for your testimony. I don't see any questions, so I appreciate your input.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. Judiciary Committee. If you could give us your name and town and your testimony, you have 1 minute and 15 seconds. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening. My name is Phil Jenkins. I'm from Gloucester, Rhode Island. My testimony is the legislation proposed before us tonight would ban the most commonly owned semi-automatic weapons in nearly all detachable magazines, not just those over 10 rounds, due to the removable faceplate clause. An almost identical ban, albeit slightly less draconian, was enacted in Maryland, the state where I was born and raised, in 2013, ostensibly to save lives. As we discuss such legislation, it would be prudent to examine the results of this unconstitutional experiment in Maryland. Prior to an assault weapons and magazine ban in 2012, Maryland's largest city, Baltimore, suffered 218 murders. In the years following, the number of murders only climbed. Over the past 6 years, Baltimore has averaged 332 murders, which is an increase of 114 murders over the 2012 pre-assault weapons ban. Tell me again, how does this save lives? How do you stare failure in the face and call it success? It is nonsensical to be polite. We do indeed need to do something. However, blindly repeating the failures of other states is idiotic. The Bill of Rights is not a polite suggestion, but rather a foundational safeguard against an overbearing, tyrannical government. How prophetic our founders were to envision such encroachments on individual liberties. Our right to keep and bear arms is not open to discussion. It is not a constitutional orphan, as Justice Thomas eloquently said. It is just as essential as our First, Fourth, Fifth, and Eighth Amendment rights.
Thank you for your testimony. We appreciate your input. Your time is up. Seeing no questions, I'll have the next witness, please. Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town you're calling from, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Thank you, sir. My name is Paul Fort, and I live in Hope Valley, Rhode Island. Dear fellow Rhode Islanders and my constituents, Bill 5381, medical release, I oppose. It's very vague. It walks a thin line. Who decides what deems anybody unfit? Where are the definitions of what is considered unfit? And we also have laws to protect our rights, such as this bill for our privacy. Who will have access to this? I find this very ironic. The only thing this bill will lead to is less people seeking help for ailments for fear of being denied their rights and possibly more illnesses. Please oppose this bill for a double infringement of our privacy. Okay. Bill 5554, magazine bans, very deceptively written. States removable four-plate magazines as illegal. Removable four-plate magazines are designed to be disassembled for cleaning and proper operation of firearms, in which most every magazine I've ever seen has a removable floor plate. In addition, you are proposing a 10-limit round to any magazine, so modifying such is already covered, and this part of it is redundant. This bill would render virtually every semi-automatic Fed pistol.
Thank you for your testimony. Your time is up, and I don't see any questions. I appreciate your input. May we have the next witness? Oh, hello, sorry. I expect to hear someone on the line, and it's a little weird with just a ding-dong. Anyway, hello. Please give us your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to testify. Give us your testimony in front of the House Judiciary Committee.
My name is Robert Person. I live in Cranston, Rhode Island, and I just want to say I've lived here for 50 years, and these new bills that are coming in are so egregiously sanctimonious. I mean, they presume a safety level that doesn't even provide any real degree of safety. And for the first time in 50 years, I'm thinking about moving my business and my family to another state. I mean, all the problems this state's having, focusing on these anti-gun bills, I think it's irresponsible. I mean, gun owners should not be limited and told have any of their rights or their ability to purchase firearms hindered. We already have systems in place that do state and federal background checks. We already have mandatory reporting from doctors. That all goes into a national database. I don't think that we should, prevent law-abiding citizens that have, firearms to make it criminal to do some of the things that they do. And some of the bills that are being passed are actually turning certain. They're supposed to be preventative, but they're actually creating soft targets.
Thank you for
because
your
you're not going to
testimony.
allow anybody.
Seeing no questions, thank you for your input. And can we have the next witness, please? Hello, you're on with the Judiciary Committee meeting. And if you could give us your name and town, and you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Yes, my name is Jared Rubin, and I'm from West Greenwich.
Go ahead, Jared.
Okay, well, I want to say that there's quite a few bills that I oppose on here, but the number one that I find particularly egregious is 5381. I think this is an appalling requirement to exercise a constitutional right. I don't think this will have any impact on criminals while infringing heavily on law-abiding citizens. I feel in general that these type of bills only serve to hinder law-abiding citizens to exercise their rights to protect their family and themselves while not really impacting criminals and criminal activity. And I would appreciate it if you guys would consider that when you're looking at bills like this. It's really going to affect law-abiding citizens like myself, just interested in protecting my family and you know, exercising my rights. Whereas I don't see gang members and things like that, you know, really being impacted by these things because they're getting their guns illegally and they're not dissuaded by these laws. They're already breaking laws, you know, in the first place. And, you know, a couple of more aren't really going to have an impact, in my opinion.
Jared, thank you for your testimony. Representative Corvae has a question for you, if you don't mind.
Not so much of, Jared, is it?
Yes.
Not so much of a question, but a comment. I think that one of your statements kind of distilled to the salient point one of the bills, whereas it's going to the restriction regarding the health records will restrict the law-abiding citizen, but it certainly will not restrict a criminal from getting a gun or using a gun. Thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no other questions, Jared, thank you for your testimony. Can we have the next witness, please? Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. If we could have your name and town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you, sir. This is Jeff Goyette. I'm the owner of Pocasset Arms, a federal firearms licensed dealer and a gunsmith in the state of Rhode Island. I oppose 5553, 5554, 5556, and many of the other laws, 5726, 5381, that are opposed. You know, it's been since 1977, Pocasset Arms has been doing business in the state of Rhode Island. There's many people I've served in this state and sold many magazines and firearms, and I'm going to keep this as short as possible. In closing, I'd like to say all of these new laws attempting to be passed would only affect law-abiding citizens. Felons, criminals, gang members have never followed the laws and never will. You're attempting to take away from the people of the state of Rhode Island who have worked with federal firearm dealers the proper way in conducting their firearm transfers. It is unfair that our elected officials are breaking the faith of their oath under the Constitution that they agreed to protect and obey. We, the law-abiding citizens, are not the bad people, yet you are trying to destroy our liberties and rights under the Second Amendment.
Thank you for your testimony. Your time is up. Seeing no questions,
Thank you, sir.
We'll take the next witness. Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony. Go ahead.
My name is Wayne Charbonneau, and I live in Pawtucket. I would like to thank the committee for hearing my testimony today. I am opposed to H5381, the bill that would require me to submit a medical release form. When I purchase a firearm, I already have to disclose whether I've had any problems with drugs, alcohol, or mental health. And having to release my medical records on top of that would be unnecessary. In my particular case, I do not actually have a primary doctor or any medical records, so I cannot disclose or actually fill out and complete the forms to purchase a firearm. And because of that, I would be disqualified from buying one because I cannot provide records that don't exist. And I'd also like to use the rest of my time to oppose bills 5386, 5553, 5554, 5555.
All right,
55. Okay.
Thank you very
Time's
much.
up.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
I think one of the representatives has a question for you. Representative Norray.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Could you tell me what other bills you oppose, please? Just the numbers.
5386, 5553, 5554, 5556, 5555, 5726, 5942, 5969, and finally 5970.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. May we have the next witness, please? Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee meeting. Please give us your name and your town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony. Go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to appear before the committee. My name is Ward Thrasher. I live in Providence, Rhode Island, and I specifically oppose H5882, 557, 5970, and 5971. Each of these bills has an appeal process which concerns me from a perspective of being a closed appeal process without record. There is no guidance on when requests for record keeping or open hearings are to be granted or denied. So I find that these four bills have constitutional vagaries that make them very concerning. Generally, I oppose additional gun control measures in the state of Rhode Island. And again, I do appreciate this opportunity to appear before the committee. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for your testimony. Seeing no questions, may we have the next witness, please? Hi, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. Please give us your town and name and town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Yes, my name is Brad Barco. Live in West Greenwich, Rhode Island. There's been a lot of compelling comments on both sides, but in my opinion, this is a very slippery slope. If you ban something today, what are you going to ban next year? This isn't right, and I totally support our current Second Amendment, and I ask you to oppose these bills. Thank you.
All right, short and sweet. And hang on a minute. There are some reps who have a question for you. Chairman Corvae.
Thank you, Second Vice Chair Knight. I just want to say that the slippery slope is a time-honored way of getting different pieces of legislation through, and I agree with you that the one way of looking at some of these pieces of legislation is that it is a chipping away or a slippery slope. So I just wanted to say that there are those of us who agree with you. Thank you.
And
I appreciate that, and I've been in law enforcement and the military for many, many years, and like I say, this just isn't right. Thank you.
Hang on there. One more, if you don't mind.
Mr. Barco.
Sure.
Please tell your son I said hello. Thank him for his service in Washington, D.C. I heard he's doing a fine job.
He is, and he's back now.
Perfect. I'll reach out to him. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Can we have the next witness, please? Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. If we could have your name and town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Yes, hello. Thank you for taking my call. My name is Annette Payne. I am a resident in the town of Bristol, Rhode Island, and I am vehemently opposed to any gun control legislation that's being proposed this evening. I am an advanced practice registered nurse. I also sit on the board for the Rhode Island State Nurses Association, and it is my opinion that in no way, shape, or form will gun legislation make the community safer. Again, I'd like to restate that I am vehemently opposed to any gun control legislation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? All right. Thank you for your testimony. It's much appreciated. Hi, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. May we have your name and town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony, please.
Sure, my name is Chris Schwartz. I'm in Cranston. I'd like to go on the record as opposing all 10 of the anti-gun bills. Specifically, I'd like to quickly address the assault weapons ban 5556. Last year, I believe we had 39 gun-associated deaths in Rhode Island. None of them were from assault weapons. I don't think we've recorded an assault weapons death in the state. We did have 350 drug overdoses in Rhode Island last year, and I think the General Assembly's time would be better served dealing with mental health issues and drug addiction in the state. One other component of this bill troubles me as far as the registration. I believe there's a law on the books, 114741, which states that no government agency shall keep any registry of privately owned firearms. So that's also particularly concerning to me. And H5554, everybody's already gone over that ad nauseum tonight, but I believe that one's also very asinine. That's all I really have to say.
Seeing no questions, we thank you for your testimony. Oh, wait a minute. I think we have...
I don't have a question. I have a comment.
Go, if you can hang on a moment, sir. Representative Caldwell has something to say.
I just have a comment to some of the testimony we hear about, other problems like mental illnesses and drug overdoses and the things that we should be handling instead. Because the truth is, we handle and we talk about those issues every day in the General Assembly. I work a lot on issues regarding mental illness and the opioid epidemic. We do not work on these bills in a vacuum. We work on them in concert with other bills that are also very important to us. And, they're not, it's not as if they don't exist to us. We work on them every day.
I didn't say that you don't address them. I just said your time would be better spent on those rather than these bills. Thank you, though.
Thank you, sir, for your testimony. Next witness, please.
Take care.
Hi, you're on with the Judiciary Committee. Can you give us your name and town? And then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony, please.
Sure. My name is Greg Gruenfelder. I'm from Woonsocket. I come before you to testify against each of the anti-gun bills, principally those impacting the restrictions in magazines holding more than 10 rounds and the assault weapons ban. These bills focus on regulating the rights of law-abiding gun owners instead of pursuing criminals. As written, these bills would force the loss of a vested property right without just compensation. Furthermore, the registration clause of the assault weapons ban violates another section of Rhode Island law prohibiting the establishment of a firearms registry. I come in support of the various pro-gun bills. Concealed carry reciprocity is a critical with our surrounding states. Currently, those holding concealed carry licenses need to procure licenses in both Massachusetts and Connecticut to carry a firearm legally. Without a license, one must be careful in border towns to not accidentally cross into Mass or Connecticut and thereby violate the laws of those states. And I'm sure that we lose economic activity from both Massachusetts and Connecticut since people can't cross the line. That is the end of my testimony. Thank you.
Seeing no questions, thank you for your testimony, sir, and we'll go on to the next witness. Hi, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. If you could give us your name and town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Okay, thank you. I'm Paul Fontana from North Providence, and against all the anti-gun bills proposed here in reference to H5556, the proposed assault weapon ban. My main concern is what are we solving with this? Assault weapons account for the tiny minority of shootings and murders. More people are killed with knives than these firearms. These are civilian firearms, not military-grade weapons or weapons of war, as no major military uses them. All this bill will do is make law-abiding citizens into felons. Thank you. That's all I have.
Hang on, sir. There's a question from Representative Corvae.
Hi. Did you say you were from North Providence?
I am, but District 6, though.
Say that again?
Yes, I am. District 6.
Ray Hull. Could you state your name?
Paul Fontana.
Paul, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. We certainly appreciate it. Can we have the next witness, please? How are we doing on witnesses over there? I want to take this opportunity just for everyone who's watching TV. The staff at the House of Representatives at tonight's Judiciary Committee is working overtime to deal with the input, all the volume of testimony and written materials. They've really done yeoman's work, and I want to take the opportunity on behalf of the committee to thank them for their efforts. These are the people who make it happen behind the scenes. Caller, you are on the air. Please give us your name and town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Dean Goodman. I'm from North Providence, Rhode Island. I assume we're on 5556.
Whatever you want, sir. You have a limited amount of time to give us your testimony.
All right. Opposition in 5556, basically because with Rhode Island opening up pretty soon and some of the restrictions being limited, being lifted, I believe the constituents should have a voice and having this pushed through when literally nothing's been done in the past year. I don't understand why this is being pushed through. I mean, I can't understand it, so I just want to voice my opposition, at least to that 5556. All right, thanks.
Well, don't go anywhere. Chairman Corvae.
Okay.
Chairman Corvae has a question for you.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
What was your first name again?
Dean.
Dean, this is Representative Corvae. I do represent North Providence. I don't know if you live in my district.
Okay.
I do oppose 5556 also, but I just want to correct perhaps a misconception. These bills are not being pushed through tonight. They're just being heard. These bills are not
being pushed through. I understand that.
Okay. No votes are being taken tonight to pass any of these bills. They're being heard tonight. They've been placed under consideration, and we'll be discussing them in the coming weeks.
I just meant, I apologize. I meant without any representation from the constituents at all. Without any ability for us to be there.
No apology necessary. I just didn't want you to operate under a misconception where perhaps you thought these bills were going to be just rammed down the public's throat, which they are not.
I spoke incorrectly. I apologize, but thank you.
All right. Seeing no other questions for the witness, thank you, sir, for your testimony. Can we have the next witness, please? Hi, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and then you have a minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Yes, my name is Dan Kiesler. I'm in Greenville, Rhode Island, in Greenville. I just want to say, like the last caller, I find it egregious that we're putting these bills through without us having the benefit of looking you in the eye and having 1 minute and 15 seconds to go over 20 bills. It's impossible to cover 20 bills in a minute. But I do want to say congratulations to some of the members, because I see some very good common sense laws being brought forward this year. I think CCW reciprocity is a fantastic idea. Having stun guns and having a license for those is great. Having the AG report accurate statistics so that we can make very good decisions maybe in the next legislative session is a great idea. So I'm in support of that. Constitutional carry is a fantastic idea. So the gentlemen and ladies that came up with these laws, very good common sense firearms laws, and thank you. And that's all I've got.
Well, thank you, sir, for your testimony. Seeing no questions, well, thank you for your time, and take the next caller, please. Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and then you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Yes, hello. This is Brian Murtha from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Thank you, Representative Corvae, for your opening remarks. It should be 1 minute 15 per bill. If I write in, I cannot be assured that it will be read by every representative. I have vehemently opposed the uncommon sense gun control bills, including these that impact me. The magazine ban, and let's call this what it is. It's a semi-automatic gun ban. This is outright disarmament, exactly what they want. The bill should be titled Standard Capacity Feeding Device Ban. I am far from an expert, but most handguns that I know of have a mag capacity from 7 to 17 rounds. 10 is an arbitrary number that does nothing for safety. This bill will cost me more than $1,000. Safe storage. I do not have children in my house, and I should not be forced to lock up my firearms while I am home. Doing so makes them inaccessible and could be deadly to me in time of danger when seconds count. If children do come in my home, I, as a responsible firearm owner, always make sure it's either on my hip or in the safe. Assault weapon ban. This will ban most semi-automatic rifles in possession today, and there are thousands of them legally owned in Rhode Island. The bill grandfathers owners if they register and pay the government. A gun registry is illegal in the state, and I object to my name and firearm being put in a ledger for anyone to see. I also object to paying a fee to the state, which mandates me to register my gun.
Thank you for your testimony. Your time is up. We certainly appreciate your input. Seeing no questions, we'll take the next caller, please. Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. If you could give us your name and town, and then you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony, please.
Good evening. Judith Hadley, Lincoln, State of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. I also am a mom speaking against 5381. This bill is an outright violation of an individual's constitutional right to privacy, especially regarding sensitive and personal medical information. Medical facts of an individual are absolutely not necessary when it comes to purchasing a firearm or an application for a concealed carry permit. If passed, would establish a dangerous precedent for more unnecessary and restrictive legislation. Speaking against 5553, the addition of subsection B in this legislation is unfairly restrictive. The intent and wording seems to indicate that it is the desire of the legislature to unfairly force the gun owner to keep his or her gun locked up and inaccessible 24/7, thus completely negating any opportunity to use a gun for self-defense purposes should it be needed. In addition, the second sentence is both unclear and redundant at the same time, as Representative Filippi indicated. Thank you.
Seeing no questions, we thank you for your testimony, and if we could have the next witness, please.
You're welcome.
No problem.
Hello.
Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee meeting. If you could give us your name and town, and then you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
All right, awesome, thank you. My name is Jake Burks. I'm from East Greenwich. I'm a long-time Rhode Island. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm a long-time Rhode Islander and business owner in Providence, where I teach martial arts, and self-defense. Representative Caldwell, on your website, justine4ri.com, you spoke of the horrific massacre at Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook was a gun-free zone, and that law had no effect on the perpetrator that committed that heinous act. The one and only thing that would have stopped that killer is a gun. 92% of all mass shootings happen in gun-free zones. To name a few, Century Movie Theater in Aurora, Colorado, Columbine, Fort Hood, Oak Creek, Sandy Hook Elementary, Virginia Tech, Emmanuel AME Church in Charlestown, South Carolina, and many, many more. Banning concealed carry holders from school grounds puts your children at risk and literally creates an unarmed victim zone for killers. I am a firearms safety instructor certified by the USCCA and the NRA, and I'm happy to sit down with you all and discuss ways that we can prevent deaths as a result of gunfire. But these bills do nothing to the criminal element and only affect law-abiding citizens.
Sir,
Thank you for your time.
Chairman Corvae has a question for you.
Not to belabor the point, but the places you stated that had the mass shootings were gun-free zones, the ones you mentioned?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. See no other questions. Thank you for your testimony and your time. Can we have the next witness, please? Hello, you're on with the House Judiciary Committee. Please give us your name and town, and then you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give us your testimony.
Okay, my name is Kevin Mcnichols. I'm from Woonsocket, Rhode Island.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I don't know. Pardon?
Go ahead.
I don't know if I'm speaking to one bill in particular or to the entire package.
It's whatever you want. It's your 1 minute and 15.
All right. I read through them last night very quickly, and I'll tell you right now, I have no criminal record whatsoever. I'm 67 years old. I've used firearms since I was in my 20s. And what I read frightened me. It seemed like it's a backdoor infringement of the Second Amendment. You can't go at it face first, so you're going to ban certain articles to make weapons illegal, and then you're going to force us to surrender them or become felons with no compensation for the loss. In some instances, you're talking thousands of dollars a weapon, all of which, to my knowledge, and the people that I associate with, were all purchased legally. My weapons are only used for target shooting. I don't hunt. Never had a problem with them. All I do is target shoot. But I don't want to see somebody taking my Second Amendment right and trampling it in the mud.
Thank you. Your time is up. Are there any questions of this witness? Seeing none, may we please have the next witness? Good evening. Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name, the city or town you're from, and you have 1 minute, 15 seconds to make a statement.
My name is Tim Baxter, Foster, Rhode Island. Thank you for your time. I will do my best to be brief. I am an active NRA and USCCA instructor as well as competitive shooter that is licensed to carry a firearm in all New England states. In my opinion, all of these anti-gun bills before you are a solution in search of a problem. The reason why is the bills, if enacted, will do nothing more than make otherwise law-abiding citizens criminals.
Thank you. Oh,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The tragedies that they are intended to prevent are already a crime to commit. Statistics show that legally owned firearms are used in a minuscule percentage of crimes. The most recent case of an assault weapon stated by the Rep. Price was in 2014. In that case, the offender possessed the firearm illegally as he was a convicted felon. Chicago has some of the toughest firearm laws and restrictions in the nation. However, they have a higher gun crime violence rate than the state of Maine that has constitutional carry, which is permitless carry.
Thank you for your testimony. Your time is up. Any questions of this witness? Seeing none, may we have the next witness, please? Good evening. Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name and the city or town you're from, and you have 1 minute, 15 seconds to make a statement.
My name is James Clark. I live in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. I have to oppose H5942. If there are no teachers in the school who can conceal carry, where's the first line of defense for the children? I have 4 children in East Greenwich schools, and I do not feel comfortable having them unprotected. And if a criminal comes in to do harm in the school, there's no time to wait for the police to show up. And if I remember correctly, at Parkland, Florida, the school officer failed to act in defense of the children and only hid to protect themselves. So I do not believe it would be wise to leave the schools totally defenseless. Most shootings happen in these gun-free zones because a criminal knows there will be a long delay in any response, and they know that there will not be a gun present in these zones. That's about all I have.
Thank you for your testimony. Seeing no questions of this witness, may I please have the next witness? Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name and what city and town you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
My name is Christopher Jones. I'm calling in Newport, Rhode Island. And I wanted to state my opposition to 5381, 5386, 5553, 5554, 5555, 5556, 5726, 5942, 5969, 5970. And I did have a kind of a quick question. Did I hear somebody say earlier that current AR-15 owners would be grandfathered into this or no?
I believe there is something in the bill for prior owners. They get to keep them. They have to register them. So you may proceed.
Correct. That was all I had. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for your testimony. Seeing no questions of this witness, may we have the next witness? I don't know. Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name, the city and town you're from, and please make your statement 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Hello, Judiciary Committee. My name is Michael Howarth. I live in Cumberland. I appreciate you hearing me out tonight. I know that you're all working hard, spending time away from your families, and listening well. So I appreciate what you do. And my family and I pray for you consistently that regardless of how you stand on these issues, that your life and your leadership will be blessed and you'll be healthy. As I've listened to the testimony this afternoon, Rep. Caldwell seems to keep on making the point or asking the question of asking people who speak out against these bills if they'll obey these laws if they're passed. And I think that's an interesting question because it betrays an interesting presumption and narrow-mindedness about law-abiding citizens in Rhode Island. It presumes that we will follow any law that the legislature passes. But what you don't realize, what that question doesn't seem to understand, is that you're under law as well. You all took an oath to follow the Constitution.
Thank you for your testimony. Your time is up. I'm sorry, but I believe we understand where you're coming from. So, seeing no questions of this witness, may I have the next witness? Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name and the city or town that you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement. Please proceed.
Thank you. My name is Elizabeth Eddins, and I live in Burrillville. For demographics, since that's been discussed a lot tonight, I am a Democrat, even out here in Burrillville. I am a mother, a small business owner. I'm even a RISD grad, and I am a responsible firearm owner. I keep them for recreation, for sporting competition, and share the experience of being at the range with my son. In regards to Bill 5381, personal medical records that are not part of an adjudicated ruling should not be required for the purchase of a firearm. This bill is a violation of privacy and of doctor-patient confidentiality. Not only that, it will literally write into law the stigmatization of mental health. One should not be worried that seeking medical treatment for mental health will be equated with deviance and will be used against them, be it to exercise their right to purchase a firearm or for the purchase of anything else in the future that could be deemed undesirable. I also strongly oppose Bills 553, 4, and 6. These bills are not common sense additions to the regulations of this state. Rhode Island is a moderate state with reasonable people and reasonable laws on the book already.
Thank you for your testimony. Your time is up. Seeing no questions of this witness, may I have the next witness? Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name, the city or town that you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
Okay, my name is Sharon DeFazio. I'm from Cranston, Rhode Island. I'm a licensed real estate agent, and I have a license to carry a concealed weapon. I am totally in favor of people having the right to bear arms. I'm also totally in favor of the government or state to confiscate those guns or weapons that people have illegally or have no reason to have them in the first place, such as maybe it's psychiatric or it could be criminal, whatever. I also asked you please to consider very carefully treading on one of our amendments, because once you tread on an amendment, then others go by the wayside quite easily. So I am 100% in favor of allowing people to have guns in their homes or to carry if they have a necessity to do so. But remember that when you take the guns out of the hands of law-abiding citizens with no problems in their past, then you take away their ability to defend themselves in their home or on their job if their job is...
Thank you for your testimony. Your time is up. I think we definitely got the point. And there's no questions of this witness. Please may I have the next witness? Welcome to House Judiciary. Please turn your computer down or television, whatever you're watching.
I have neither going on.
Please state your name, the city or town you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
Okay, thank you. Harold Lawton, Foster, and I'd like to voice my opposition to Bill 5555, which concerns concealed carry on public school grounds. I don't see how this could actually do anything to improve any kind of safety situation. As a matter of fact, it would actually possibly be a problem if there was ever any kind of school shooting and a concealed carry holder was not able to actually be on the premises of a school with a firearm. Concealed carry holders are known for their obedience to the law, and they've been vetted rigorously by police departments and or the Attorney General. So I have no understanding of how this could help with anything. I'm also opposed to the other 9 anti-gun laws that are proposed in this session.
Well, thank you for
Thank
your
you very much.
testimony. Thank you very much for your testimony. I see no questions of this witness. So may I please have the next witness? Are they on? Welcome to House. Hey, welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name, the city and town that you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
Okay, my name is Paul Malarani from Cumberland, Rhode Island. I'm here to oppose, should I go through the whole list? 556, 5381, 5386, 5553, 5554, 5555, 5969, 5762, 5942, 5970. All of these proposed amendments and laws would do nothing to stop criminal activity and would simply infringe on the constitutional rights of Rhode Island citizens. Our Constitution is clear in Article 1, Section 22, that the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. I would also like to express my support specifically for 5972, constitutional carry, which would make maybe some of these other laws irrelevant. But 5973, I support. 5971, 5395, 5882, 5557, 5693, 5727. I think they would all go a long way to support the rights of Rhode Islanders to defend themselves without compromising the safety of our citizenry. I guess my...
Go ahead.
Good? I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for your testimony. Seeing no questions for this witness, may we have the next witness? Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name, the city and town you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
Hi, this is Tom Hefner. I live in Lincoln, Rhode Island. Can I start now?
Definitely, please.
I'm speaking to oppose H5381. This bill violates medical and healthcare privacy, and it discourages healthcare participation. FFLs do not have a process or regulations regarding the safekeeping of medical records like healthcare physicians do, and firearms dealers are not qualified to interpret medical records. So I wholeheartedly oppose H5381 and don't think that it should be passed. And I'd also like to just make a quick comment on bills concerning the regulation of our civil rights during the pandemic. These bills should be delayed until appropriate hearings can be held when people can attend in person. I understand that due to public safety concerns, the pandemic has unconstitutionally limited our ability to participate in public hearings.
Your time is up, sir, but thank you for your testimony. Seeing no questions of this witness, may I have the next witness? Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name, the city and town you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
My name is Robert Panacucci. I live in Cumberland, Rhode Island. I'm a voting Democratic citizen of the state of Rhode Island. I'm an NRA certified instructor and NRA certified range officer. I work at a gun shop where we are providing new guns to new owners who are concerned about their liberties being taken away. I'm also concerned with the way that this bills are trying to be passed and trying to erode the Second Amendment rights that are in our Constitution to have access to firearms for personal protection and use in other activities such as hunting and sporting events. I believe we are going about this the wrong way and going against gun owners where they're not the problem. The problem is a criminal element, and these items do not address criminal elements. They address law-abiding citizens, and that needs to be readdressed. I thank you for your time, and I hope that you take this into consideration, that you are going against the wrong population.
Well,
thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. Seeing no questions of this witness, may I have the next witness? Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name, the city or town that you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
How you doing? My name is Ralph Burries. I live in Richmond, Rhode Island, and I'd like to comment that any government that curtails the rights of the citizens to own firearms is a government planning to do something so despicable that they can't have us armed against them. That is how I feel. That is how most Americans feel. Do not curtail our rights. This is unconstitutional. You have no right to do it, and you have no reason to do it unless you have something rotten planned. That's the end. That's all I have to say.
Well, thank you for your testimony. Are there any questions of this witness? Seeing none, please may I have the next witness? Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name and what city and town you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
Okay, I'm Stephen Lord from North Kingstown. I'm speaking against the magazine ban bill. People own firearms for typically one of two reasons, either sporting reasons or for self-defense. In either case, the amount of ammo in a magazine is not only is it not a problem. If you're especially in a self-defense role, you want as many rounds as you can get. And in fact, a great many of self-defense handguns in particular are selected precisely because they have large magazines, so that if, for example, you were subject to a home invasion and several people broke into your house, you would have more than enough ammo to deal with the situation. Restricting magazines to a smaller number of rounds, all that does is make law-abiding citizens less safe, not more safe. And as far as criminals go, it has no effect at all because they don't care, and they'll use whatever magazines they can get. So all I can say about this bill is it makes no sense. All it does is make people less safe, and it's a really stupid idea.
Thank you for your testimony. We have one question, Representative Casimiro.
Hi, sir. This is Julie Casimiro. Can you tell me where you live in North Kingstown?
I live in Wickford.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for your testimony. Seeing no other questions, may I have the next witness? Are you there?
I am.
Welcome to House Judiciary. Please state your name, what city or town you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
Terry Turner. I live in Smithfield. My statement is I'm not in favor of any legislation that's going to infringe upon our Second Amendment rights that I think the Founding Fathers very wisely, 2.5 centuries ago, put in the Constitution. There's a saying we've all heard, if you outlaw guns, only outlaws will have guns. And I think the studies from state to state across the country and even across the world show that the more that you restrict firearm ability of law-abiding citizens, the more crime there is. You know, criminals are just sort of chomping at the bit, hoping that everyday average law-abiding American citizens have fewer and fewer and fewer ability and rights to protect themselves, defend themselves, and protect their families if and when need be. I wish somebody at the legislature would introduce a bill called self-defense equality, because that's what I think it is. Let us keep our right to protect ourselves and protect our loved ones. If you attach the word equality to a bill, you can get just about anything passed.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Your time's up, but Representative Corvae has a question for you.
Terry?
Sure, Representative Corvae. How are you, Representative Corvae?
Terry, I was just about to say it's been a long time
Too long.
You were there
Too
in the
long,
old. It's very heartening to see you were there in the old days, and you're still there. You're still fighting a good fight. It was a pleasure to hear from you tonight.
And you as well. Thank you, Arthur.
Take care,
Keep up
Terry.
the good work.
Thanks, Terry.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Next witness? Hi, you're on the air. You're in front of the House Judiciary Committee. State your name, the city or town you live in, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give your testimony.
Thank you. My name is Marcia Matero. I'm from Smithfield, Rhode Island. I hold a concealed carry license in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, and I oppose all of the gun restrictive bills being discussed tonight. 5381, 5386, 5553, 5554, 5555, 5556, 5726, 5942, 5969, and 5970. My father was a police officer, so I grew up shooting. And I've heard it stated numerous times tonight that you want to enact common sense gun laws. I want to ask you, why is it that mass shootings don't occur in police stations? It's because everyone knows that everyone in the building is armed. The horrible fact is school shootings occur because they're easy, gun-free zones. I also wanted to go on record as stating I support the following bills: 5395, 5557, 5558, 5639, 5727, 5730, 5882, 5971, 5972, and 5973. Thank you.
Marcia, thank you very much for your testimony. Next witness, please. Oh, I'm sorry, there's a question for you, Marcia. Representative Norrie.
I just want to thank you for your testimony. I think you did an excellent job getting everything you wanted to say in the time.
Thanks. Okay, next.
Perfect.
Hi, you're on the air. You're in front of the House Judiciary Committee. State your name, city or town, and you got 1 minute and 15 seconds to give your statement.
Okay, thank you. My name is Stephen D. Hart. I live in Warwick, Rhode Island. And I'm calling because I believe that these bills that are proposed are not going to have any effect on reducing crime in the state of Rhode Island. The law-abiding gun owners in Rhode Island are not a problem, never have been, and will not be. Yet, they are the very people these proposed laws will affect. Like many thousands of gun owners in Rhode Island, I own and use guns for recreation, sporting, hunting, and competition. And I am vehemently opposed to the passage of these bills. I take offense personally with H5556 as well as the others. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. I'm sorry. You're welcome, Chairwoman.
Thank you. Hi, Stephen. This is Representative Vella Wilkinson. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Thank you so much for your testimony this evening. I appreciate you taking the time away from your family to have your voice heard.
Thank you all for the hard work you do. We appreciate it, and we know who you are. We thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Next witness. Hi, you're on the air. Please state your name, city or town you live in, and you've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to give your statement.
Thank you. Thank you to the members of the Judiciary Committee. This is Michael Salvador. I live in Narragansett. I am against 5381, 5386, 5553, 554, 55, 5942, and 5970. The particular concern is 5381, medical records. This is clearly an attempt to label a group of people as unfit to own firearms. This is a deeply troubling bill. We don't have a gun problem in this state. We have a crime problem. And the crime problem is centrally located in the urban areas of this state. None of these bills will address crime. None of these bills will restrain or restrict criminals from committing crimes. All this is doing is demonizing
a constituency that doesn't fulfill or believe in the political agenda that is being proposed here. I am a former gun club president and currently sit on the executive committee of another gun club. These bills are deeply troubling in that labeling a group of people.
Your time's up.
My time is up. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next witness. Welcome. You're on the air at the House Judiciary Committee. Please state your name, city or town, and you've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to give your statement.
Okay. Hi, my name's Whitney Zeger. I'm in the town of Cumberland, and I just wanted to say that I find the legislation being presented to be very punitive to law-abiding citizens like myself. I'm a female gun owner. I wanted one for protection because I hike a lot by myself. I also I've come to enjoy shooting, and I actually am considering competing. This legislation actually hurts me and people like me who want guns for protection and competition. So I'm testifying for my rights as a gun owner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Whitney. I don't see any hands. Next witness. You're on the air. Please state your name, city or town, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
My name's Devin Coit. I live in Newport, Rhode Island. And I just want to say that I oppose all gun control bills presented before the House Judiciary Committee this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Next witness. You're on the air. Please state your name, city or town you live in, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to testify.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity this evening. My name is Gary Monty. I live in Lincoln, Rhode Island, and Gregory Constantino is my representative. I'm calling in tonight to oppose H 5553, 5554, 5555, 5556. I oppose these bills because of the restrictive rights that they place on myself as a reasonable and law-abiding gun owner. On the other hand, however, I would like to thank the 39 members of the House who did put these bills forward, because that combined separately with the Providence Commission to defund the police and the destruction of my business in Providence by the Antifa riots that occurred over the summer have essentially motivated my family to now take up the shooting sports. So I no longer have to go alone. And for that, I want to thank them for essentially making it clear as to why it's imperative that we have the ability to be able to protect our rights. Thank you for the time this evening.
Thanks, Gary. Any questions? Seeing none, next witness. Hello, you are on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. Please state your name and the city or town you're from, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to make a statement.
Okay, my name is Gabriel. I live in Lincoln, Rhode Island. I've lived there for the last 55 years. I'm 77 years old, and I bought more guns. And the way this country is going with this socialist agenda, they're not going to fool with the Second Amendment if I got anything to say about it. Semi-automatic weapons and full automatic weapons. I don't think it's right that they get interfere with this, because Biden set the agenda when he said he's going to tax guns. Okay? Now, all these Democratic states, and I'll tell you, I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. Okay? I'm an independent, like the guy on top of our building. I spent 5 years in the Marine Corps. I got grandchildren and children. Okay? Both my children carry concealed. Why? Because they see the way this country's going. Okay? I can't divulge the work that they're in, but they work in the private sector, and they work hard, and they see what's going down. This country has got to take it back itself. And by getting rid of the guns, You've heard this 1,000 times. Oh, am I off?
Yes, Peter, your time's up. Thank you for your testimony.
Wow. Okay.
Next witness. You're on the air. House Judiciary Committee, please state your name, city or town, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give your testimony.
Thank you. My name is Robert Morrison. I'm from Warwick, Rhode Island. I'm here to speak about the ban of assault weapons in the state of Rhode Island. I'm opposed against this. Not only am I a service member and a retired vet, but I worked very closely with a lot of gun shops, and I've also been in touch with veterans, and I also work for an organization that works with veterans. Now, banning assault weapons is not going to really do much because you're punishing the people who are the law-abiding. If it wasn't for us, you wouldn't be where you're sitting. So if you're looking at the state sitting there now, all these people are opposed against this bill. We're the public. We ask to be seen. We don't want things taken away from us. The Constitution was built so that way we could protect ourselves, and not only that, we have the right to defend ourselves through any means. Now, I personally believe that there should be different guidelines behind it, but at the same time, we should all be able to understand that punishing the rightful owners is just not right. It goes against a lot of the Constitution.
Thank you very much for your testimony, and I want to thank you personally on behalf of the committee as well for your service.
Thank you very much. You all have a very good...
Thank you. Next witness, please. You're on the air. House Judiciary Committee, can you state your name and city or town, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to give your testimony.
Hi, this is Robert Johnson from Bristol, Rhode Island, and I'd like to oppose 5381, 5386, 5553, 5554, 5555, 5556, 5726, 5942, 5969, and 5970. Because they are an infringement on the rights, the Constitution. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next witness, please. Hello, you're on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. Could you give me your name, city or town, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to testify.
Hi, my name is Michael Harrington. I am from Gloucester, Rhode Island. I would just like to say that I am against each 5381, 5386, 5395, 5553, 5554, 5555, 5556, 5726, and 5969 and 5970. I'm in support of 5557, 5558, 5639, 5727, 5730, 5882, 5971, 5972, and 5973. I'd just like to state even the CCW ban on school grounds, that would make someone a criminal just for simply dropping off or picking up their kid on the way to, if they're on the way to work or happen to have their CCW on them.
All right, Michael, thank you very much for your testimony. Next witness, please. Hello, you're on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. Would you state your name, city or town, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to testify.
Good evening. My name is Tanya Calandra, and I live in North Providence, Rhode Island. I would like to address the fact that there are so many bills crammed into this hearing that it will take me 30 seconds to just list out the bill numbers I support and which ones I oppose. My testimony comes in at 2 minutes and 50 seconds, and as your constituent, will you allow me 2 minutes and 50 seconds without hanging up on me?
No, the rule is 1 minute and 15 seconds. I apologize, but we're trying to get everybody a chance to talk.
I understand that, and I don't mind waiting at the State House until 1 o'clock in the morning if that's what it takes. You have already taken away my ability to testify before you face to face and look you in the eye. As a young woman, as an American citizen, and as a Rhode Island resident, I believe that less than 3 minutes to tell you why you shouldn't take my rights away is a fair request. Rep. Knight said earlier that anyone who wants to speak for longer than the allotted time should submit written testimony, and rest assured that he has personally read every single one of the 2,000 emails received on these gun bills. Average 1 minute per email, that's over 33 hours. Respectfully, I don't believe that anyone has personally sat down and read over 30 hours of emails in the last few days. I also want to point out that there are 20 bills being heard tonight with a time limitation of 1 minute and 15 seconds. Through public testimony, we are supposed to have our voices heard, and limiting testimony on each bill to 3.75 seconds allows about 5 words per bill. Effectively, this means that as a law-abiding citizen trying to be heard by my representatives, I am being silenced. I really hope someone asks me what my initial testimony was, so I am allowed to respond to your question with my initial testimony.
Thank you, Tanya. Your time is up. Next witness, please. Welcome. You're on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. Could you state your name, city or town you live in, and you have 1 minute and 50 seconds to testify.
Thank you. The name is David. The name is David Notoriani. I'm from Burrillville, Rhode Island.
Hi, David.
And I'd like to speak on 5381 first. Personally, there is no reason for a store clerk to have access to my medical records. Secondly, it becomes a very slippery slope because if this could set a precedent where you could have people going after prior drunks and not allowing them to buy a car just because of something in their past medical records regarding alcohol. The second thing I'd like to speak with is the removable floor plate language in your ban on 10-round magazines. My wife is home alone many nights because I work a lot of nights. She should have the same ability to defend herself against some bad element that may come wandering through the woods like we've had in Foster this week here alone. That's a big part that I'm concerned with here. The other thing is, before you want to impose restrictions on the lawful gun owners, please impose them on the criminals where the gun charges are usually bargained away. Impose the restrictions on them, sentence them fully, and stop the problem from reoccurring. That's what I got to say.
Thank you, David, for your testimony.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next witness, please. Welcome. You're on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. Please state your name, city or town, and you've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to testify.
Yes, sir. My name is Arthur Sears. I'm 63 years old, born in Providence. I now live in Cranston. I'm a tax-paying, God-fearing legal citizen and proud to be an American. I've been a gun owner for 40 years. I've been a proud member, that is, of 3 gun clubs over the years. I've met no one but law-abiding, like-minded family members from all walks of life. We love America, and we love the Constitution. But here we go again. Let's pick at the current laws regarding gun laws already on the books. Let's add more sanctions and redundant laws aimed at the law-abiding citizens. Let's take the guns away. We must take the guns away. That's all I seem to hear. And somehow the criminal will catch on and turn their guns in also. The lunacy of the progressive liberal never ceases to amaze me. I strongly oppose any and all anti-gun bills because it will not help to keep me safe. Let me repeat that for the Nancy Pelosi people who don't bother to listen to people's testimony. And it won't stop the breaking and entering criminal. It won't stop the drug addict or drug dealer who need treatment or incarceration. It won't stop the manic depressive from committing suicide.
Mr. Sears, your time is up. Thank you for your testimony.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Next witness. You're on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. Please state your name, city or town, and you've got a minute and 15 seconds.
Michael Anthony, Cranston, Rhode Island.
Hi, Michael.
Hi. My question is to this legislation, if I believe I'm talking about the right bill, it was legislation regarding a letter from my doctor concerning my mental health. My question would be, what other constitutional right would be required to have my doctor write a letter for? Would it be for my voting rights, for my other constitutional rights?
Well, I believe it's a medical release that the bill calls for, but not necessarily
Right.
a letter
So,
from your doctor.
so would it be a medical release for me to vote, or
no,
a medical release for me to?
The bill doesn't address those issues. You're correct.
No, it doesn't. But but that's a serious concern of mine as to whether, if you want a medical release, my doctor may be opposed to gun rights. My doctor may be opposed to voting rights because my voting doesn't align with him. So what other constitutional right, if we allow this, for you to impose on my constitutional rights?
Okay, your time is up. Thank you very much for your testimony, Michael. Next witness, please. Sorry, I wasn't following that. Welcome, you're on the air to the House Judiciary Committee. Please state your name, city or town, and you got a minute and 15 seconds.
Thank you. My name is Ramsey Davis from Cranston, Rhode Island. I'm a Marine Corps veteran of the Vietnam War. I carried an M16 assault rifle. I experienced the devastating firepower of these weapons upon my fellow Marines, medics, and the Vietnamese. These images haunt me 50 years later. Semi-automatic assault weapons with unlimited rounds of deadly steel case ammunition do not belong in the hands of civilians. There is no need for such a weapon other than military purposes. Many of our surrounding states have banned assault weapons. We should do the same. Machine guns have been banned successfully for decades and are not on our streets. My wife and I are retired teachers with over 70 years of experience. Firearms should not be allowed on school property by civilians unless properly locked in a vehicle as provided by this legislation. This past Tuesday, Senator Mitch McConnell threatened to bring upon nationwide universal concealed carry reciprocity legislation. If Rhode Island does not enact legislation to prevent CCP holders from other states to carry in Rhode Island, then a CCP holder from any state could carry in Rhode Island. The Second Amendment only provides for an individual has the right to own and maintain a handgun at home for personal protection. That is it.
Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for your testimony. Your time's up, but someone wants to ask you a question. Representative Vagello.
Thank you for your service, sir, especially your service in Vietnam. Thank you. And thank you also for putting some perspective on the damage, the injury that high-capacity magazines, assault weapons can cause. Thank you very much for that. If you would like to expound on that a little longer, I, for one, would like to hear that.
Well, thank you for your consideration. Yes, as I say, 50 years, it's been a long time, but I hope none of you ever have to experience what damage these assault weapons provide cause to the human body. It's a terrible thing. We don't need them. Machine guns are not allowed. Semi-automatic assault weapons with these unlimited rounds shouldn't be allowed as well. And I certainly appreciate all the time and effort you folks are putting into this. I've spoken live before, and I know it's quite a commitment, so I thank you.
Thank you very much. Next witness, please. Welcome. You're on the air. Please state your name, city or town, and you've got a minute and 15 seconds to talk.
Thank you very much. My name is Mike Cottarelli, and I reside in Cranston. Despite record-breaking firearm sales last year, Rhode Island still remains one of the safest states in the country, partially because law-abiding firearm owners take that ownership very seriously. On the subject of mass shootings, The public data suggests that the majority of mass shooters do in fact suffer from some form of mental illness, and in most cases, it also involves the failed enforcement of existing laws. On high-capacity magazines, a simple YouTube search, you can find inexperienced people swapping out 10-round magazines almost as fast as I did as a trained infantryman. It is far simpler than the testimony today would lead you to believe. In the end, these bills just change the cosmetics for a mass shooter, as it does nothing to stop the violence or the damage that any other weapon could create. And we've seen committed madmen in Oklahoma City, Boston, and Nashville show us other ways of doing violence. Finally, the threats against elected officials is repulsive, and it must be reported to the authorities immediately. Otherwise, we risk the normalization of very real criminal behavior. Please support the pro-Second Amendment bills and oppose the Second Amendment bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. There's a question from one of the representatives, Representative Casimiro.
Hi, Michael. Thank you for your testimony tonight. I've been told by my constituents who competitively shoot AR-15s that they can change a magazine in less than 2 seconds. Is that accurate?
I'll tell you, I was a trained infantryman. I was probably served in the Army in the 82nd Airborne, and I'm surprised at the ability and the simple search you can do on YouTube and find competitors, not just competitors. I'm talking about just simple enthusiasts on how fast it is. You can change a magazine, and I mean go through. There's a competition called cowboy shooting, where they literally use cowboy guns, a lever action firearm. They use a pistol and they use a shotgun, and they can shoot faster than I can with my AR. That's how fast these people are. If you're committed to a cause to cause destruction, you can use virtually anything to achieve those means. And it's terrible to say that, but AR magazines can be switched out fast, and so can virtually any other pistol. And I've even seen people reload revolvers with speed loaders and do it as fast as I could do it. It's entirely possible, and you don't have to take my word for it. Simply search it on YouTube, and you'll see competitors and amateurs like myself that can do it very, very fast.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Next witness. Welcome to the House Judiciary Committee. You're on the air. Please state your name, city or town, and you got a minute and 15 seconds to speak.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. My name is Louis Spazzotto. I live in Westerly, Rhode Island. I'm here and speaking in opposition to Bill 5381. I believe this bill is in violation of an individual's privacy, and it is in violation of the HIPAA law. I don't believe it will. This should be allowed to occur. An individual's privacy is important.
Louis, thank you very much for your testimony and your service. I see that you're retired from the United States Marine Corps. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Next
Good
witness,
night.
please. Welcome. You're on the air. House Judiciary Committee. Can you state your name, city or town? And you have a minute and 15 seconds.
Thank you. My name is Patty Alley, and I live in South Kingstown in Rep. McIntyre's district. I'm testifying in support of Rep. Caldwell's bill number 5553. In the summer of 2020, our family faced the devastation of losing my sister Allie to gun suicide. Like many others affected by the pandemic, Allie was struggling with her Buttonwoods hair salon, the Wavy Daisy, as well as with the abrupt end of her 10-year relationship. Allie's partner was active duty military and a firearms safety instructor for the state police at the time of her death. The gun Allie used to take her own life was the .38 her partner referred to as his personal carry. He habitually stashed the gun in an easily accessible location known by all who lived in the home. My father taught me that with great power comes great responsibility. I am asking for Allie that gun owners take responsibility for safely storing their weapons. It only takes one unsecured gun and one bullet to end a life. This is a tragedy that can happen to anyone's family and can easily be prevented. Please support Rep. Caldwell's bill number 5553 for safe gun storage. The family you saved from this pain could be your own.
Thank you very much. You have a couple of questions if you can hang on. The sponsor would like to speak with you.
Hi, Patty. It's Justine Caldwell. It's good to hear from you again. I wanted to just say thank you for coming on tonight and sharing your story and about the tragic loss of your sister over the summer with an unsafely stored firearm. We are so sorry for your loss, and you can rest assured that I remain committed to the cause of making sure that type of situation doesn't occur again.
Thank you so much. That really means everything.
Chair McEntee.
Thank you, Patty, for your testimony and for hanging in there so late. And I'm very sorry for the loss of your sister. But yes, we'll do what we can to. I also support these bills. I'm one of the co-sponsors, so I just want to let you know that. Thank you for getting on tonight and testifying.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patty. Oh, I'm sorry. Edie Agello would like to say something.
Patty, and for all those out listening, I am pleased that you gave your testimony out loud and we heard it, but I want you to know and others to know that I have been reading the letters, and I read your letter and your story about your sister. It is there. All these documents are up on the internet. We can read them. The committee can read them. The public can read them. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Your story.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Norrie.
Patty, as the other representatives have said, I too am sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you for your testimony, and tell Will he did a good job.
All right, I will do.
Thanks. Next witness, please. You're on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. You have 1 minute and 15 seconds. Please state your name and city or town.
My name is Dave Gagan Jr. I live in North Providence, Rhode Island. I'm calling and I'm opposing on this bill on H5556. I'm an avid hunter, competition shooter, and I'm a law-abiding citizen of this great state of Rhode Island. Don't understand, and a lot of these questions and these bills that are coming up upon us today are just a little out of reach of what people don't misunderstand and what's going on in the world, and don't understand the whole concept of overall firearms safety training in any of these courses. So that's the biggest issue I think we have, and we're not addressing in this state. So that's something that I'd like to just state, and that's what I'd like to propose, and that's what why I called today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your testimony. Next witness, please.
Thank you.
Hello, you're on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. Please state your name and city or town, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to testify.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Martin Hyman. I'm a 71-year-old lifelong Democrat. I've lived in North Kingstown for the past 47 years, and I've owned a home in Saunderstown for the past 36 years. I'm a retired captain in the United States Coast Guard, as well as a retiring law enforcement officer, having served on the North Kingstown Police Department. I strongly urge the committee and the chamber to not support these anti-firearm pieces of legislation. Legislation should serve a purpose, and limitations on access to firearms that have a legitimate lawful purpose serve no purpose. No question, something needs to be done about violent crime, but these bills will not do that. As have been repeatedly demonstrated throughout the country, strict gun control laws have done nothing to curb crime in general and violent crime in particular. One is only to look at cities like Chicago, New York, and Washington, D.C. that have some of the strictest gun control laws in the country and also some of the highest crime rates. These cities make it difficult, if not impossible, for lawful citizens to obtain concealed carry permits, but their laws and practices do little, if anything, to control illicit weapons. On the international level, one has only to look at New Zealand to see how little effect gun control laws have had on crime, with crime rates there steadily rising.
Marty, your time is up.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Next witness, please. Welcome. You're on the air. This is the House Judiciary Committee. Please give your name, city or town, and you have 1 minute and 15 seconds to testify.
Yes, my name is Jack Peters. I'm from East Providence, Rhode Island. Okay, I've been a hunter safety instructor, volunteer for Rhode Island for 38 years. Okay, I oppose Bill 5381. Someone hasn't done their homework because in 1995, Providence Journal versus Attorney General Jeffrey Pine basically said that anything was part of the process. That means that you now have to put a HIPAA report out if this bill becomes law. The other one I oppose is H555, which is contradictory to what I did in 1990 under Democrat Attorney General James O'Neill, who put together a task force. The task force was specifically to teach people, school teachers, how to protect our children. This is counter to that. In 1989, the Bristol shooting formed this task force to teach the use of lethal force, non-lethal force.
Thank you, Jack. Your time's up, but I understand Ann is with you?
Yes, I'll give the phone to her.
Thank you. Hi, Ann, you're on the air. You've got 1 minute and 15 seconds to testify.
Hi, my name is Anna Peters. I am from East Providence. I am against all Second Amendment anti-gun bills. I do not feel any of these bills will stop any criminal from committing any crime. All we are doing is letting the criminal obtain more firepower than a regular citizen or a police officer except tactical force. As far as the schools, the children would be safer knowing someone is at the school to be able to protect them. Instead of waiting for the police, lives could be saved. Gun-free zones are sitting ducks. I believe registration is toward confiscation or to tell a criminal where to go, what homes to attack or not. Let's remember what happened to the Jews in World War II. About storing weapons, I do not have children in the home. When my husband is not home, I sleep with my gun to protect myself. You would be making this illegal. Maybe we should keep the repeating criminals off the street. You joined the military at 18 years old, and you want to change this to 21 years old for a person joining. You cannot use an assault weapon.
Ann, thank you very much for your testimony, and both of you, for that matter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next witness, please.